I didn't want to necessarily celebrate or kind of highlight my 25 years because it's just a number, though it's relative. Parang you just want to keep on going. So those 25 years, that I've been blessed with, parang it's nice to kind of reminisce or look back and just be grateful for it. But I think the driving force was always, you have to work, you have to do something, you have to be better, you have to grow. So that was a constant thing in my head. So.
Yeah, and we've seen that in the projects that you got yourself in the last year alone. So given you the first one, let's kick it off with Ibarra, the musical.
Actually, I was upstairs while waiting for the call here. Isip ko kasi sabi ko, ang joke ko this year parang most promising old actor. Sa dami ng ginagawa ko. I said yes to everything. I guess it was brought about by the pandemic. We got so bored not doing anything. And then nagkaroon naman ng chance to already do taping, and there was a constant demand for new content. So nagkaroon ang daming platform na nagbukas, so ang daming opportunities, especially for us from the showbiz industry. Nagsunod-sunod naman. So it actually started with Chef Chico. That was my first. We shot it first quarter of the year, and then I jumped right away to The Ride, the film that I did with Kyle, and it's with Cornerstone and Spring Films. And then I went to Ibarra. So when I said yes to Ibarra, it was I think 6 months before we actually started rehearsing. Same thing with Mallari. When I signed with Mallari, it was the day after Ibarra, but we were filming 4 months after. So my schedule was pretty planned out long before everything transpired. Basically, 6 months to a year, nakakasa na siya. So from Ibarra, I said I needed to take a break because it was different. It's all new to me. First time I ever did a musical. So it kind of took its toll on my body and my mental being because I had to really dig deep and immerse myself. So I went on a vacation for a month. But nag-tour pa kami ng All-Star naman na Cornerstones sa stage din. And then, so after Ibarra, I signed on for Mallari. And then as soon as I got back from my vacation, then na Milan, diniretso ko na yung Mallari. So, yun.
So before we jump right into Mallari, because so much has been released before that, pero I want to focus first on yung Ibarra.
Yeah.
Like how different was that experience? Because I heard that in college you used to do theater.
Yeah.
And now, like siguro after how many years that you've been doing like TV, diba? And the big screen, now you're vulnerable on stage.
I guess stage has always been my first love. It was my it was an eye-opener for me when I started doing theater in grade school and then high school, all the way to college and university. I just had this feeling that I wanted to act. So theater was my way in. But then my friends from teatro were the ones who encouraged me to audition in ABS, Star Magic or Star Circle. But anyway, so I was doing theater in college sa Teatro Tomasino. And then, nung naging busy ako sa TV, sa films, every so often I'd get offers from different companies to do theater, to do stage, be it musical or straight play. I just never had the time. And finally, during the pandemic, for some strange reason, man, I got a call and then they asked if I was okay for pitching. It just fell into place. I said, I've always wanted to do a musical. That's one thing I wanted to check off my bucket list. And then it just pitched Cancer. Cancer was the original title, which I saw back in high school. So sabi ko, I've always liked the novel. I read it, I taught it in high school. So nung finish sa akin, sabi ko, perfect because I've always wanted to do a Rizal type of thing. So sabi ko, sige, I said yes without thinking. And little did I know, it was like 95% song. I thought it was a straight play with some songs. So I had to really dig deep and I didn't accept any work for it. And it was like going back to school. It was like going back to training because iba talaga yung disiplina. For 1 month, nag-check-in ako sa hotel, hindi ako umalis, doon lang ako malapit sa GSIS, and I just rehearsed every day. I did voice lessons every day, and I hung out with the theater people just to really immerse myself. And yeah, it was well worth it.
Would you say that that experience made you feel more alive than ever when it comes to like acting?
It made me feel as if there's chance for us Filipinos to really showcase our talents, not just abroad but here. We have so many great performers that we have to export, and we have the opportunity here. So I guess that's why theater community is thriving, because there's so much talent here. And what it taught me is really discipline, and yeah, it made me feel more alive in terms of acting, because iba-ibang medium yan eh. And for me to be able to do stage and come out alive, parang for me, yes, now I can breathe. But definitely, it's a lot of lessons that I learned. I had to be a student from day one. Talaga, everything was new to me. Everything was a learning experience. So it was great.
But concisely, like, how do you think that experience added to your craft as an actor and a singer?
Let me just put it this way. When I came onto the Mallari set, I was nervous, because I was always nervous when I was doing Ibarra. But that kind of triggered my intensity, and to really just channel my passion for me to be able to execute the scene well. So with Ibarra, there's no take two. Everything was take one. So even on a bad day, you have to perform. So grabe lang yung disiplina talaga na-instill sa akin. With that, nadala ko siya all the way after Ibarra. It humbled me. It made me realize that you can't always rest in your laurels, and the only way to get over yourself is to think out of the box and do something different. Kasi pwede mong sabihin, okay na ako, I can settle. But the thing is, if you don't really get out of your comfort zone, you'll never know how far you can go and how much you can push yourself further.
Sorry, can I kind of extrapolate on that then? You said it's one of the ways that you can get over yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because sometimes when you think that you've done a lot, you've done so many things, you've achieved a lot, you're okay na. But the thing is, if you settle there, then there's not going to be any more growth. Diba? Kung mag-settle ka lang sa magaling na ako, ang dami ko na nagawa sa buhay ko, may pera na ako, pahinga na ako, bakit? So, that's why it humbles me every time I take on a new character, and new work, or such as this, and in Mallari. It was hard. I had sleepless nights, literal sleepless nights. But I took it on because I wanted to challenge myself.
And speaking of like taking new things on, like making sure that you proactively pursue that, you were also part of Brillante Mendoza's star-studded Moro, which recently screened at the Busan International Film Festival. So what was that like for you this time around?
Alright, so the story behind it was he wanted me to do this film, Moro, originally, and we were going to shoot in Mindanao, but Mr. M didn't allow me to shoot in Mindanao. So, but then Brillante said, I really want Piolo in the film, so we had to compromise. I said, siguro probably I'll do the movie, pero I can only shoot in Manila. So what he did, he gave the role to Baron. For me, doing scenes with him, it was just really amazing. And then I'm playing his brother. So we transposed from Mindanao to Tanay, yung mga scenes namin together. And I worked with Direk Loris, I worked with Tito Bo. So with Dante, it was a different experience altogether because he makes you do improv. So when we did one reshoot, he explained to us, so Piolo, this is what's gonna happen. Ito yung scene, mag-aaway kayo dito ni Baron, kasama mo si Ina, and then yung asawa, si Beauty Gonzalez pala yung asawa ko, and then there's Ina, asawa naman yung isa na parang, it's a family conflict. And sabi niya, ito yung mangyayari. So sabi ko, nasa yung script, I kept asking for the script, the sequence, hindi niya walang nabibigay. And then only to find out na, kaya nyo na yan, bahala na kayo. Ako yung marami sasabihin, paano to? Impromptu siya. So it's good. It was a good exercise. You really have to know your character. You really have to know what you're doing to be able to communicate the scene well and to convey the message that he wants to convey to the audience.
And doesn't that also require like a whole lot of background, technical study then?
What I do is I always make it a point to give a backstory to my characters so that I know myself better, I know where I'm coming from, I know who I am and what I'm doing in the scene. Otherwise, I talk to my director, I talk to my co-actor, and I keep reading the script.
You know what, listening to you so far, parang it's so refreshing to find out that there are things that still surprise you, knowing that Piolo Pascual has gone through a wide variety of genre already. But how important do you think it is for you to be a vessel of these stories like Ibarra and then Moro and now Mallari as well? So these are like heavy storylines.
I was looking at my Instagram. I only I'm active sa isang social media platforms, which is Instagram. All the rest I have, but we have of course social media managers.
Really, you have TikTok?
Yeah, I do. Apparently, I have to. So anyway, so it's just Instagram. So I posted the trailer of Mallari, the first, the teaser, and then they sent me the teaser of Moro, and then they sent me the teaser of the trailer of Goburza, and I was like, oh my gosh, son of naman, to be part of these historical films. It was such a privilege to be able to be part of something historical now at this point of my life and my career. This is not your typical rom-com that I'm accustomed to doing. These are milestone films. So ang sarap ng pakiramdam na you get to be chosen to represent certain character, such as Ibarra, such as Mallari, such as Pedro Pelaez and Goburza, and also this social-political film, Namoro. So parang you want to give voices to these characters, so you want to own it. And that kind of privilege only happens once in a while, so you really embrace it.
You know what? This is my personal question already. Because listening to you, I get so much more curious. We have known you from like rom-coms talaga. Parang sure shot yan. Pagka Piolo Pascual, top biller, alam na namin hit yan. Pero how do you get people to trust you to be the vessel of these stories? Because especially now that the platform is shifting and it's challenging actors now to explore more, like go out of the box. So how do you think you earned their trust?
It's bottom line, it's authenticity. If you're not authentic, if you're not real, if you don't show truthfulness to what you're doing, then you're in trouble. I guess that's my contribution. I don't fake it. I don't, try to be somebody that I'm not. Or I don't try to do something that I cannot do. I just, ito na ako, take me for what I am, but I'll give it my best, As much as you are a vessel, that's an opportunity for you to also grow and challenge yourself and not just really think highly of yourself. Kasi everything that we do is work. And you're always a work in progress. Because once you say that you're perfect, then there's no more space or room for growth. So you always want to be a clean slate whenever you take on something.
That's beautiful. I have a takeaway for today. Pero shifting from the heavier stuff, now something really light. So you are part of the first Filipino Netflix original series also, which you mentioned a while ago, replacing Chef Chico,
Yes.
alongside Sam Milby and Alessandra De Rossi. So
Yes.
ano naman yung character mo this time around? May kilig naman.
Okay, rom-com to, something different, It's I love working with Alessandra. She's a fireball. Nandiyan si Alessandra, tatahimik ka, panonoorin mo na lang siya. And I've always wanted to work, of course, with my brother Sam. So it's about culinary, very Filipino, and we're really happy because when Netflix commissioned them to do it, ang sarap ng pakiramdam because it's the first Philippine Netflix series. So ang sarap ng experience with Dan Villegas as your director. The last time I worked with him was Break a Playlist, and then Antoinette Hadaone, who I worked with as well, was her showrunner. So everyone just brought their A game, and everyone just had so much fun. It's gonna come out in November, and we're so excited because it's one way to also champion our content. The more global market, global scene.
I know you can't spoil anything just yet, but meron bang nuance yung character mo here? Because we've seen you in rom-coms na parang napapansin namin they kind of ride around you as well.
Hindi, nagpapogi lang.
Nagpapogi na. We don't mind.
Nagpapogi lang ako. Tapos kumain ako ng mga niluluto ni Alessandra. No, I was just there to really support Alessandra. I mean, for whatever I did, I guess it just gave life to the story that these guys beautifully wrote. And maganda siya kasi ang dami mong matututunan when you watch it. So,
like, okay, you're on streaming platforms, you're on TV, you're gonna be on the big screen, and then this time around, tomorrow, you're gonna have a concert right here, di ba?
busy ako eh.
Busy ka talaga? Hindi halata.
Busy ako eh.
Pero before we get to that, last July, you already performed sa US kasama yung mga kapwa mong cornerstone ng stars sa All-Star concert.
Yeah.
And this November, babalik ka sa US and Canada right after your third solo concert tomorrow. So ano naman maabangan nila for that one?
Piolo as a songwriter.
As a songwriter.
No, tomorrow is, I've always been so intimidated by the stage. I can be shy at times, na bordering na sa pagka-introvert. Kasi nga mahihiyain talaga ako. If you don't talk to me, I won't talk back. But on stage, to be able to kind of, get your audience engaged for 2 hours, that for me is hard. Because I'm an audience myself. Hindi ako mahilig na ako yung bida, ako yung host. Anyways, but this time around, doing this concert tomorrow, it took me 15 years. I remember ABS, Star Music would hound me every year, year in, year out. Either Valentine's or November, they'd always ask me every year, ma-concert ka na, ma-concert ka na. I just had no time because also I either doing TV or film. But when this came about, I was like, okay, sige, try natin. Saan tayo sa resort? So, ilang ng capacity, 2,000. Okay. So, ang dami ko na nasagot ng mga commitment. Nagsunod-sunod lang sila.
You're the commitment type now. Where you say yes to everything first and then...
So after this, next week I leave for the States. I also said yes to another first time in a long time doing all solo shows. I'm bringing this concert to 5 cities. Guess ko sa iba si Miss Ay, si Mama Ay, and then si Tichi, si Rufa, may sa iba. But it's 5 full-on concerts. I like singing because I get to express myself in a different way. The way I do stage, the way I do, the way I work the camera for film or TV, it's a different expression. But it's also, it also brings out a certain passion in me because I like to express. So when I sing, I get to be more personal, and that's totally different side of me when I do a show because I tend to just really get intimate and personal because you want to be as engaging as possible. And I enjoy the whole 2-hour set. And yeah, so I'm not going to be doing something I'm not comfortable doing, definitely, but I'm going to showcase some songs that I've done through the years, through the last 25 years of my being around in the industry.
But speaking of like the intimacy and how personal singing is for you, you will be releasing a new 8-track album under Star Music.
Yeah.
So now the question is, nasan yung puso mo in making this album? Like, anong mga love stories that are gonna be told?
This is also a long time coming. We started working on this album, if I'm not mistaken, probably pre-pandemic. Jeff, when did we start working on this project? Pre-pandemic, because it was hard to kind of collect the songs and get the right people to sing with. Basically, the concept of the album is duets, ultimate duets with our female singers. And we have Kyla, we have Casey, we have Niyang, we have Moira, we have Regine, we have Juris, and then Morissette.
Wow.
So I have all the great female singers of our time, and it's all original. So yeah, finally we were able to get the last song mixed yesterday. We wanted to actually release it on the day of the concert, but there's more nitty-gritty bit. So we're gonna release it next month in time for Christmas.
And maybe right before your US tour and Canada tour. Like somewhere in between.
Somewhere
We'll
there.
find time, we'll make
Somewhere
space.
there.
Yeah, pero we're very excited for
Yeah.
that. Pero yun nga, ano yung, kasi how do you pick the songs that...
I like to do original. I like to do mga young composers. Kasi they have so much emotion. And of course, you deal with the classic ones, but you wanna do something that's now. You know, where they are, yung mental state nila, yung state of mind nila. So you wanna, give meaning to their lyrics. So yun, the original songs that we did with the female singers, marugdog, mga love songs talaga. Pero masarap.
Yeah. Kahit naman sa akin, masarap din eh. Mga ganun. Masarap
yung
yan.
journey. Masarap yung journey.
Yeah. Pero where do you think the musical landscape is now? Especially with OPM. Because it's really thriving.
It's thriving. We now have Billboard PH. And I guess sky's the limit because you can access any song at any platform. So it's just a matter of time. For sure, maraming more magiging breakout dito from the Philippines.
Yeah, it's more accessible right now. Okay, so now we've been touching on Mallari since a while ago. So finally we can talk about it in a deeper context. So this is your first MMFF film after so many years. The last one was in 2002 pa for Dekada 70.
Yeah.
So how does it feel for you na makakasama siya this year?
I'm excited. Wait, are you guys okay? Are you guys bored? Okay lang kayo? Okay lang ba? sorry. Ang dami ko kasing ganap eh. Matatapos na kami ni God.
No, I'm sure they would love to hear from you.
Sorry. We're saying a mouthful. But yeah, Mallari. Talking Mallari. We're in the presence of my producer, Mr. Brian from Mentor Productions. He's been so supportive. One thing I can say, okay, a brief background about Mallari. When I got a phone call for a pitch, 3 characters. Mallari. I didn't know it was real. It's a tatlong character, horror, tapos Mallari yung title, serial killer siya. Yun lang yung gist na sinabi sa akin. Sabi ko, no, I cannot. Sabi ko, I'm still working on the ride. I was doing a film back then. Sabi ko, and then I still have a tour. So there was no way I could squeeze it in my busy schedule. And then that same day, I was shooting with Kylie Changi and Joao, sa kami sa set. And then we were talking about serial killers, yung sila Dama, di ba? Sabi, then, do we actually have a serial killer in the Philippines? So we Googled it, si Joao Googled it, sabi niya, there is, dude, there's Severino Mallari. Oh shoot, and that's the same day, I stood up, sabi ko, oh shit, it's a real guy, it's a real person. So it gave me goosebumps. Sabi ko, Lord, ano ba to sign? So sabi ko, sige, I called my manager again. Sabi ko, sige, pa-pitch tayo. Nung nagpa-pitch na kami, napakaganda. Pero sabi ko, tatlong characters, parang napakahirap. Kailangan ko ba to? Kailangan ko ba to ngayon? Busy kasi ako eh. So I guess you can say I'm just a sucker for good stories.
So you're gonna be playing Father Mallari.
I'm playing 3 characters. Father Mallari is from 1812, he's the serial killer. And the second one is John Ray Mallari from 1948. And the present, which is played by Jonathan Mallari. They're all related from different timelines.
Wow, that's complicated.
It is really complicated. But if you watch the film, there's a lot of backstory, there's a lot of good narrative that you'll be able to keep up with. Hindi sulit yung isang panonood. I mean, we did this in, my gosh, less than a month, and everyone just brought their A game, and with the help of our producer, we got what we wanted, equipment-wise. Our DOP is an award winner, and Derek Cabrito is an award winner. They really knew what they were doing. So coming in, I had an acting coach, by the way, which they never told me about. And it was a welcome change for me because for the last films I've done through the years, you can always wing it. You kind of know your character and you debate with yourself. But this time around, I had the presence. I had the privilege to be in the presence of Miss Angie Castrense that I've worked with Chef Chico. So she guided me through every sequence until the end. We would have arguments, we would have discourse, we would talk about the scenes that we were doing every single day. Hinimay namin. So it was a big help for me to be able to identify and really differentiate 3 characters from 3 different timelines.
Right. So it sounds like this is quite psychological and philosophical, no?
Pa-psych ward na ako.
Pasay word.
Di ko alam. Ang debriefer ko kasi the next day, nagbe-band rehearsal na ako for the concert. So,
At least may release ka na tayo.
release ko na sa kanta.
Yeah, but in accepting this role, did it scare you?
It did. It did. I mean, you know, the mere thought na dinner down mo, tapos that same day, malaman mo, totoong tao pala yung Severino Mallari. And I said, okay, why not give him a voice and do something, you know, that probably maybe significant, you know, during our time. So, they always say, banlaw ka, si direct, sabi niya ko yung magbanlaw ka, siguraduhin mo, magbanlaw ka, that's it, mga DOP, kaya kailangan you have to shake it off. So yeah, the day after I finished my last scene, I was doing a band rehearsal for the concert, so sabi ko yun, siguro yung banlaw ko. And then now, I'm busy with this, and then shortly after, I go to the States, so you just get on with your life. I mean, you know, I'm happy that I was able to give life to these three amazing characters and to do something different, a different genre for a change.
So we're getting teasers of that, and I'm sure the visuals would be stunning. So I think this is the perfect moment to also pull up the trailer for Mallari.
Ako, curious din ako eh. Ano ba talaga nangyari doon sa bahay na yun? Tsaka,